Okay, let's just cut right to the chase. I know I did say I was going to do this review of the 14XX, or the HST, whichever I said. I was going to do it right after I did Evening Star, and it's been 2 weeks since then, so I might as well just jump right in and start the review of this beautiful little engine. Now, this is obviously a Hornby, as Bachmann has not yet done a 14XX. I think they'd actually do quite a good 14XX. They do really nicely detailed tank engines. Now, not all the time have I had great, I don't know how to say it, I haven't had great experiences, I guess you could say, with Hornby's kind of engines. I think it's just mainly the motor, because with a Bachmann one, obviously my track is 5 years old. I haven't replaced it or properly cleaned it in a very, very long time. Like, I don't think I've ever properly cleaned it, because only recently have I really gotten into trains and model railwaying. Model railwaying. So I either need to completely replace the track when I get my track clean for Christmas. Once I wipe all the track down, if it still doesn't work properly, then I'm gonna have to buy a boatload of new track. But anyway, the level crossing I got, when I got it, it would have at least been 5 years old. I could just tell from when we first got it. So obviously the track hasn't been running that well, so I have to do all my runnings on the inner line, because it's a Hornby. I don't know whether it's got pickups on the back wheel, but when it goes over the level crossing on the outer track, so the outer ring that I usually use for my reviews, when it gets to the level crossing, it cuts out. So I have to push it along. So even my Bachmann ones, even my 140 pound A1 Silurian can't go across it properly. So that shows you how bad it is. And Bachmann motors are normally like the best. No matter how dirty your track is, normally they can get across it. And with Hornby, not all the time can their trains get across like points and stuff. So I don't think they're most of the Hornby ones I have don't have as good motors as Bachmann ones. Anyway, that's enough about that. So I'll tell you about the back story of this train first. So it is a 14XX tank engine. It is a 042. Its running number is 1464. It's obviously a Great Western engine. When it was on the Great Western Railway and it had the Great Western number, it was also 1464, so it hasn't changed when it went to British Rail. The designer was Charles B. Collett, C-O-L-L-E-T-T, that helps. It was built on the 29th of February 1936, so it's quite an old engine. It was built at Swindon Works, obviously in Great Western times. Its 1948 shed was 85B, which was Gloucester Horton Road. Its last shed, which is the one that is on the front of here, was 82C Swindon. It was withdrawn in 1960 on the 30th of the 6th. I have completely blanked. January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, in June, on the 30th of June, it was withdrawn. It was cut up, so it wasn't melted down or crushed or whatever. It was cut up, and it was disposed on the 31st of September 1960. So it did live quite a nice little life, this engine. So enough about the back story of the 14XX. Time to just dive into the detail. So this is a late, oh, hang on, come on, focus. This is a late engine, so this one would have been in its later days when it was getting to the end of its life. I think this is an older Hornby engine. Just try and see if I can focus it there. No. It might be like this because my camera's getting a bit old and likes to focus on the background now. So if I put it here. The emblem is quite nicely detailed. It has British Railways on either side of the lion. The crown is quite nicely detailed. So is the lion and the wheel. It has a lot of rivets going down the side of, these are the water tanks where it holds all the water, and it's got a lot of riveting, if you can just see there. The number is not etched or anything, it is just printed on. It does give that kind of impression though that it is, so got to give a thumbs up to Hornby on that one, making it look all metal. The handrails, I guess you could say, going up either side of the cab door are separately fitted. On the back you have the bunker. The coal doesn't look that realistic. Oh, hang on. Coal doesn't look that realistic. You have a load of rivets on the back too. You've also got 3 lamp hooks on the just above the buffer beam. You can just see there. Also another quite a bit of riveting. The buffers are not sprung, but I do believe they are metal. There is a hole for a vacuum pipe on the back there, but I don't think it was included. But I did buy mine second hand, not in the box, at Solihull exhibition. Although the guy who sold it to me, which is Keith's Railways, and I know I keep saying quite a lot about Keith's Railways, but it is a good shop to buy from if ever you see it. I have had, normally most of the troubles that I have with them is just running them in. Anyway, but they did say that this was pretty much almost brand new. It had only been used for display purposes. It has a medium-sized coupling, but it's not a NEM one or anything. It is nailed in. So also on the cab on the back, you can't see it, but there are actually kind of little, almost like grills, so there are little slats on the windows. On the other side, pretty much the same in terms of like separately fitted items. You have got a pipe that goes from the front, supposedly the vacuum pipe, going from the front all the way across, down, and sorry about that. Hopefully I'm not the only one that can hear that, but I probably am. I keep hearing weird buzzy noises. I'm probably going insane. Once again, they're on both sides the kind of separately fitted piping. So back onto this side. There are a lot of moulded details, but there is quite a bit of separately fitted items too. So we'll just go onto the chassis here. You have got steps going up to the foot plate. You also have little, these are moulded on, the little toolboxes on the wheel arches. Back to the chassis again. You have got 2 sanders at the back there. I believe they are metal, I think. The axle boxes moulded on as well, just there. But it has got quite it's got quite a lot of detail on. You've got the suspension springs, I believe. I think that's what they are. I can never seem to find out what these are. At the top, and then more steps leading up to the cab We'll go on to the top here. Hopefully you can see. You have the safety valves in GWR's lovely, I believe it was bronze that they used for their kind of tubes for the safety valves. That is separately fitted, I believe. It also has two separately fitted whistles at the back there, and then you've got the whistle guards. The dome is moulded onto the body, so it's all one casted bit with the dome on, apart from, say, like the whistles and safety valves. The funnel is separately fitted and is made of metal, and it is made of kind of a silvery colour metal, so it does stand out a bit from the smoke box. Going on to the tanks, you have actually got the water filler caps, and they're separately fitted on either side, and it is a nice added detail. All along here, all the piping and the washout plugs, they're all separately fitted. On the front, you can't see it, but it does say 82C on the bottom there, which is Swindon, and then 1464 on the top there. Not that much detail on the smoke box door, but then there never normally is. On the front there you have got the vacuum pipe, which was pre-put on. I didn't put it on there. And I must admit, although I know I'm probably going to get a couple of hate comments or comments saying that I was paid to do this, say it. I wasn't paid. I do prefer Bachmann's stuff. I must admit, for the price you do get a lot of detail and a really good motor, whereas sometimes Hornby can slightly overprice their products. But I must admit, I think I paid £34 for this. It was second hand, but I must admit, if you do see this at conventions or anything like that, I'd really recommend picking it up. But I do know that in E. Hatton's book, wait there a minute. Hi, I'm back, so if I just move out of the way. This is the autumn 2012 edition of the E. Hatton's or Hatton's OO and Engage bestsellers brochure. So if I just try and find it on page 12. 6, 7, 9, 11, and this is the last page. Oh god, last page. There. Right, so if I just flick over to here, this is the latest version of the 14XX. It is £56. It is in GWR colours, GWR livery, sorry, and has it printed on the side. 144819, and the number is R3117. So that is the latest version, as it says new. So if you want to pay a little extra and get the newer version, then it's there at E. Hatton's, but if you don't, then you could easily find these at conventions. So obviously you want to see it running, because I know when I bought it, I did. So I have to put it on the inner line, simply because, like I said, the outer one isn't working properly. So this will be the first time that you guys will have seen an engine running on the inner line. I think. I don't think I've ever done it before. Now, if you saw at the corner of your eye, it is quite bare. And I know on the update that I forgot to put up about a week ago, and will be put up before this video, I did have cars on here, which I don't know whether I showed you or not, but on the update I did say that it was taken all off, and I am going to try and put some back on, but I am trying to look for some proper 1/76 scale cars. So if I just get my remote, you will see 14X, oh yes, and also the fences are gone on that because I am weathering and I'm just varnishing them up at the minute just to have the coat on. add the protective coat. So without further delay, here is the 14XX in its paces. Come on. It doesn't like points. I'll have to say it's slow speeds. So there we go. Oh god. Come on. That, to be honest, it is at quite a low speed. It is a very low gear engine, as these were, I guess you could say, the class 08s for kind of GWR times. Let's just put it up a bit more. There we go. I heard somewhere on someone else's review of this that these were apparently sometimes brought out of scrap when diesels didn't work properly. Right, I forgot to mention that this point here is broken, so if my train just suddenly swerves off there, it is because it is broken. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. Sorry it's been quite stuttery, guys. So as you can tell, that even the inner track is starting to struggle a bit. Now I think it's the inner track that's 5 years old, and the outer track is mostly 3 years old. When I say mostly, some bits have been added, some bits have been taken away, yada yada yada. So not all of it's the oldest, but obviously when I was about 9 I tried to get into it, like into model railwaying, but it was more of the Thomas the Tank, I want Sodor kind of stuff. I wanted to get a Class 42 warship by Hornby, the Railroad Range one, and turn it into Diesel 10. This was originally going to be the circuit for a Sodor one, but then when I kind of got a bit older, I can't really remember when I started to get into it. I think it was about a year ago, near the end of last year. It was a bit, I'd like to get into a hobby, how about model railwaying? I had tried it before, and like I said, it was more the Thomas the Tank aspect of it. So when I was about 5, it was this one, which came in a Thomas the Tank starter set, and then when I was about 7 I got it out again. I wanted the outer track put on, so that was a Christmas present, the outer bit and the level crossing, and then it was all put back again. And then last year got it all out again, wanted to get into it properly, and then the table. My dad built the table, and the rest you all know because there are videos of it. Now the turntable, I said I was going to sell, but I haven't yet, but I am, and I'm going to probably sell it on eBay. Now this train will be appearing in my Back on Track series. He will be called Ollie, a bit of a hint to Oliver, who is the Great Western engine in Thomas the Tank Engines, who is also a 14XX. Now I am starting to get a little more historical with York, obviously this being a kind of an off station of York, which is called Ward Junction, and I am buying I have spent about 2 hours searching on eBay for certain trains, certain road number trains. So yeah, I did go a bit insane after a while. I got the site from some people on the British Railway Series Facebook fan site. There are quite a lot of people who will help you if you have a question, because obviously some of them on there know more than others. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. Could you leave a comment whether I should weather this engine or not? Just leave a comment. If you want to know anything else about the engine, the class, anything else, I'll try my best to answer it. And goodbye, my friends.